Welcome, one and all, to the EGF's presentation of the Sun Conference Super Smash Bros. Season. I'm HD Philly B, and alongside with me is King of the Hills. We are currently in week 3 of the spring 2026 season. Both of these teams, which is Keiser U and Warner University, have had a bye in week 1, came in week 2, lost their matches, and now they're here in week 3 sitting at 1-0. Both of these squads looking to secure their first win of the season. King, I know you're really good at being in the corner for these squads, coaching them, things like that. What would you tell either one of these teams going into this week?
I mean, I could give out some advice, but it's up to them to take it. And I don't know if if I have the best advice out there for the best coaching skills for these two squads. But I'll tell you right now, one of these two schools is gonna walk away with the dub. Finally, get that goose egg out of their record. So that's something we're gonna be keeping an eye on. And I'm pretty sure both of these schools are excited to get this matchup going on. And our first matchup today, looking forward to it. We got Lil Mac and Captain Falcon, two good characters to use in any scenario you want, just depending on how you use them. But you know, we're gonna see how these two guys utilize these guys.
I mean, I was as soon as we found out which fighters were selected, I was extremely excited for this matchup because they're both speedy characters, rush down characters. The thing with Little Mac is he's got some weaknesses. You get him off stage, really difficult for him to get back on, snap the ledge, etc. Whereas Captain Falcon, pretty comfortable at flying around the map. He goes to the knee to the face and all that jazz. So it's going to be for me this neutral game. How do they manipulate their speed and tempo to really dislodge the other from the ground? If you get Little Mac up in the air, it might be all over for him. So that's what I'm going to be, the little bait and switch, the little tussles in the neutral. That's what I'm looking for.
Exactly. And also, if I'm Little Mac, I would be doing my best to just stay in the center because, as you said,
Three,
getting up in the air,
two,
that's going to be a
one,
problem for him, but also
go!
on the ledge. He has one of the worst recoveries in all of Smash. And if you get too far off the ledge, it's game over.
So look at this positioning here now, friend. Like toggling the Little Mac to the edge, right? You want to get him back into the corner, like on the ropes in a real boxing ring. He's able to get back to the center of the stage here, is tried. Now knocks the Captain Falcon off, but a good recovery there for the Hawks.
Exactly. Yeah. And the good little hit and run action here from Little Mac. That's kind of the ideal mode you want to play. What a hit there from Tri Smith. And I mean, again, you want to keep that neutral game. You want to keep that middle ground if you're Lil Mac. This is dangerous right here. If you can get back up there, he's got that KO.
And that's, yeah, one strike to the Captain Falcon. He goes for it, and it's a whiff. Swung for the fences, but got none of the ball. Still, he remains in the advantage state. This is a nice 1-2 punch here. Captain Falcon struggling to get back onto the stage, is able to snap the ledge here just for now.
Yeah, exactly. It's satisfactory to get that ledge. Or oh my goodness, speaking of ledge, Ty Smith could not recover, and we're just back down to double goose eggs. It's even two stocks. This matchup right here, I mean, I tell you what, a little bit even both with speed, but of course, Captain Falcon gets a little bit more of the edge with the aerials, with the a little bit more speed too. It has a little bit more of an arsenal, but Lil Mac is just all power.
And he's utilizing his spacing with tools well. Every time I'm watching him get a hit, it's right before he's baiting the Captain Falcon into making a move, and he's just out of the range. A nice down smash there secures the stock. Tried Smith. He's all over this map.
That was a little nasty edge guard from Tri Smith, and I mean, perfect timing too. He didn't get that KO early on. He has the KO. Oh, right. Oh, what were we saying about that KO? I totally forgot. But that was clean. If you're Tri Smith, you feel pretty good finally landing that finishing blow at the end. But here's the thing: what I was gonna say is that once you get your opponent up to 100%, you don't really need that KO if you're Lil Mac. Of course, it's really, really satisfying. But again, he's just all power. And we saw all that power up against Captain Falcon in this matchup. We see a lot of Captain Falcons in online tourneys for, just for what's the what's the play? Just for whenever you have free time and you just want to play online with friends and stuff like that. I've been seeing a lot of Captain Falcons, but Lil Mac, don't sleep on him. Even though he's hard to recover, he's a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely. And if you're in that advantage state, and we didn't even have a chance to talk about Final Destination being the map selection, right? Which is perfect for Little Mac because if you don't have to play
Yeah.
off of platforms and dislodge yourself from the stage, you can stay grounded. That's where he wants to be. And you could see that Tridesmith did that expertly as he moved around the stage. Now, folks, if you're just tuning in for the first time, this is a 4v4 crew battle, which means we'll see Tridesmith again. However, he'll have to lose one stock left to self destruct first, be down to two, and then fight the next combatant up there for the Seahawks. And whoever that may be, we're going to find out. But if I'm the
Yep.
Seahawks, maybe go for a character that can, have a better range from him, right? Zone him out, or something with a grapple that can get him in the air.
So we have Dante Kelly coming in. He is playing as Cloud, and Cloud is one of my favorite characters to go up, not to go up against. I don't want to go up against Cloud. I want to play as Cloud. He's got some great aerials, and he can create that great separation to get his spacing he needs. He doesn't have the longest range at all. He does have his neutral where he can shoot the little green laser beam or whatever it is to get a little distance on your character, but here's the thing. You talk about the stage like FD, and if you're going with a stage with platforms, Cloud will thrive off of platforms where Lil Mac kind of struggles with.
There's a few tech chase options that the Cloud has, but I'm worried about how does he get in close? You're right, he does have the little wave slash. He can send that in, force Little Mac to maybe do a short hop over it, then catch him as he's in the air. But if there are platforms, Little Mac, he's got some mobility, he's got some speed, he can hop around there, be a nuisance. It's about catching him in those rotations and transitions to then start your combos for the Cloud. So that's what I'm looking for. But when it comes from power to power, Cloud stacks up with the best of them. So I'm not really fretting in that area. It's just about how's he getting close enough to engage.
Exactly. He carries that big sword, the big Buster sword. That's gonna be a big, I mean, literally, just a big advantage for him if he can. So it looks like our stage is set, and we're gonna go with Battlefield on this one. So we called it. We're gonna see some platforms in this next stage here. So once we see the first SD and from Lil Mac, this matchup is going to be underway as soon as possible. This is going to be again going to be an exciting matchup. I mean, if you're Lil Mac, you're going to want to try to again control the middle ground and try your best not to fight on the edge unless you absolutely have to, because Cloud with his aerials, he can ledge guard, he can create much spacing as possible. Just watch out for him. He can guard with the best.
Yeah, the wave slashes, that's a good way to guard the edge. He's got a good spike maneuver as well. And it's easy to read the recovery trajectory of this Little Mac. A good counter attack to start
Hmm.
it off here. This is what we were talking about. Catch him on the transition.
Exactly. And with those platforms, your up B is going to be one of your best friends right there. And of course, we're seeing both fighters use it now. Juggling is also going to be a key factor here, trying to get your opponent up in the air. With Lil Mac, you have the juggle combo, and then your up B. With Cloud, you have a little more creativity with your juggle. So it would be interesting to see if we see more juggling from Dante. Oof.
Oh, I loved the way Dante was trying to use the side B to cover the edge and get him on top, but there was just a slight poke there. He lost his jumps, and the up B couldn't snap the ledge. We do have a KO on board for the Little Mac, but just not enough damage to get anything done. This is a good ledge guard there from Dante, sends the Little Mac into the drink.
There you go. Just you don't have to do much afterwards. Just get Lil Mac as far away from the stage and just let him float down to the bottom.
And the ultimate unleash, the limit break here from the Hawks, just to whittle down the shield, which makes this Little Mac vulnerable. Sometimes he does want to get in close, force out some of those shield options. Good parry maneuver there.
Oh, yes.
To get it done.
Great parry and moving into the up B just as you said. Oh no, not a shield break. Bye-bye, Cloud.
Oh, kaboom!
Oh,
A back
hey now.
cracker. But
Hey
the limit
now.
break is available here, King, and he gets himself back on stage. That's huge for the Seahawks.
Oh man, and he kind of used that KO a little too soon. That might be bad news for Warner University here.
Yeah, Tridesmith He's being juggled now, but that's a good side B to open up the gap. He's looking for one more elimination, but a turnaround here from Dante. He's putting him right into
My
the Inferno,
goodness.
but there's still a combination. It could go anybody's way. A couple minutes still left on the clock. 100% for both of these fighters. You feel like one combination will do it. Will it be Tridesmith? Will it be Dante? They both win, but there you go. Dante secures the stock.
I mean, Dante was getting a little bit cute on the ledge when earlier you could just be like, hey, just let him float down to the bottom. He wanted to search for that finishing, whatever it was, a spike or anything like that. But it was all about timing at the end. Lil Mac went for the up B, the recovery afterwards, or the timing afterwards, or the cooldown. It's called a cooldown. Was just a little too long. Just gave that opening for Dante, and Tridesmith will now hand the controller to his next teammate in this next matchup. And also Cloud finished with two stocks, so this will be a pretty good advantage if you're feeling if for Kaiser here. So they're feeling pretty good about themselves.
For sure. And I want to just highlight the dash attack there is usually a finishing move for the Cloud when you get to those upper percents. And you could see that he was looking for it because he knows the little Mac was playing aggressive, just running right at him in this matchup. And you have to be. So, how do I get the counter attack? I can dash right into him before he gets his move off and secure the elimination. So, he does just that. Now, it's up to the Royals
Exactly.
to see what are they going to toss out. They know it's going to be the Cloud. What can they do to counter it?
Exactly. I mean, this last matchup, I will say a lot of the key components, it just came down to timing at the very end. So that's something you guys want to. That's something that Warner's going to be thinking about is just it does whoever is coming up next with their character, it's going to be, how do you time these attacks? Because Cloud can he can keep up as much as he can with whatever attacks is thrown at him, whether that be, on defense or read it on offense very well. So that's kind of an underrated thing you don't think about for Cloud users. So we for Warner, we got Deku coming in, and he's gonna come on in as Link. So a good sword fight
Hmm.
action right here. I have seen some YouTube videos on who would win in a fight, Link or Cloud. And luckily Smash Bros does that for us.
There is no reason to speculate, fans. We're going to have it right here on display. If I was a betting man, I'd probably say it would be Cloud. I think he's got a lot more strength in the tank. But Link, he's got all the tools in the bank to get it done. So we'll see which one of these swordsmen will come out on top. But King, I want your take here. There's a couple of links in the game, right? Toon Link, Young Link, regular Link, whatever. Which do you feel is the strongest? Because for me, I feel like Link is probably on the lower end of the three.
Yeah, that is a good question. I always lean towards Young Link being the better of the three. That's just my personal take.
Yeah.
But I do like using the regular Link as well. I will say that I think if you're playing as a regular Link, you have good control with your down B, those types of bombs. And, it's going to be a key of using the entire stage to your advantage, which he doesn't do the best. Like compared to Snake, he doesn't do it the best, but he can figure out some ways to make sure he keeps some range against your opponent. So, don't sleep on this Link here because there's some good he can give some good combos and keep up with the best.
Okay. Yeah, that remote bomb can be very effective. A lot of different cheesy techs to do like survivability, get you back on the stage, keep your opponents at bay. A lot of those different things that you can bring out. So we'll see if the Royals will do just that. On the other side, it's Cloud. He's going to look for his try and true combos. Maybe make sure that he's got to get up close and personal. Link's just going to try to throw some boomerangs, some arrows, keep him away. Cloud's going to try to rush him down, get some of those combos in, push him off the stage. So it's going to be a good fight between these two. Did we get the stages picked out here? Where are we at, King?
Well, I'm looking here and it looks like both teams would like to do a lag test real quick. So, gonna do a random to they're gonna start out at a random stage just to signal if they have a making sure that their connection is just fine. So we'll see how this lag test goes, and then we'll go into this matchup. You never want to go into a battle with someone with poor connection. I can tell you that much right there.
For sure. And it's all about that frame data, right? If my frame is one less than yours, I can get my attack in, and that could be the difference of starting a combo and securing a stock. So doing some of these lag tests and making sure that you have your inputs all ready,
Hmm.
set, and ready for you is good to go. So we'll see. I think they might restart or they might just get it done. I'm not sure. They're just dancing around right now.
Yep, this is just the leg test right here.
Yeah.
Obviously, Deku said he's gonna come in as Link. Right now, he's the Fox. I don't see a lot of Fox characters these days, but this is just a leg test just to make sure that we're up and running and all that. And I mean, watching this little lag test, my goodness, good dance moves right there. Oh no, they just took each other's stocks out. Uh-oh, who's gonna SD first? It goes down to this one. Philly, who do you got?
Oh, the cloud I
Ooh.
thought was going to have it because he's got a heavier character, but fastball there for the Fox seals the deal. Okay. Lag test seems to be good. The players seem to be, situated. Won't be the Fox again, though. The Fox gives me nightmares. Okay. Fox and Falco, I grew up playing
Mm-hmm.
Melee, and my brother used to play those two characters and just beat the living heck out of me every single time. So I still see those two guys in my dreams every once in a while.
Yeah, Fox was when I played Brawl, he was when you have your default characters, and same with the 64 Smash. Fox was always my first character to play as. I mean, I like the old Star Fox game or the Lilac Wars game. That was one of my favorites growing up. And Nintendo, if you're watching this, please remake them and bring back some more Star Fox games. We need them. We need them now. But yeah, in back to Smash Bros. Sorry. In when we're playing the new Smash Bros, we see a lot of I mean, me personally, I see a lot of wolves and I do see quite a few Falcos here too, but I'm seeing a lot of foxes recently in the online world of Smash. I don't know about you, Philly, but the foxes are kind of buried in their holes, I guess.
It is winter time, so they're burning up, hibernating for now. But you're right. It's I think something with the fox is you really have to play with his speed. Make sure you get those your opponent to high percents, and then find those kill confirms. And that can be pretty difficult, and especially online when a lot of people like to cheese and play a King K rule or something like that. The fox is just it's
Mm.
just an unfun matchup to go against. So it makes sense that he's kind of fallen by the wayside. But I'm sure if you get together with your friends and sit down, and there'll be a fox player or two among you, I'm sure. But probably won't be Fox here. We said Link was going to be the choice here for Silent Deku. I want to see if he's going to go plus Ultra in this one.
There you go. Yeah, reminding me of the cheesing from QK Rule. Thank you for that, Philly. Oh my goodness,
Sorry.
that's kind of an annoying thing. It's all good, but yeah, as you said, I mean, definitely like compared to the three Star Fox characters in there, I will also say that I think Fox has the hits way lighter than his hits are lighter than Falco's and Wolf's because Wolf's is definitely really heavy, and I mean Falco once he gets some good combos on. He can hit you with a good closing move, but this is the matchup where we've been expecting. Sword on sword, Master Sword versus Buster Sword. Who is walking away?
And we're going to the Pokemon Stadium 2, one of my favorite stages in this fighter game. Won't rotate or won't show any of the hybrid maps. It will just be the standard, but a quick side B into combination there for Cloud.
There we go, and he's got two of those platforms again, so that's going to help him out beneficially, especially when he uses those up Bs. We already see the remote bomb already, but we saw earlier that Cloud caught it midair, which is always impressive. I can never do that when I'm ever facing a Link. It's pretty tough to do.
It's like
Chat's
this.
probably roasting me, saying like, "No, I can do that in my sleep." I'm like, "Sorry guys, I'm maybe not that good."
I just feel like I never think about it. You know what I mean? I'm always thinking about pressing the next button instead of pressing A to catch or whatever it might be. But a quick succession of damage here for the Seahawks and the limit break online for Cloud. Can Dante secure this stock here? He's getting ready to rumble. Does he go for it? No, keeping him at bay. And it's a swing and a miss there for Dante with a turnaround clean.
There you go. Yeah, Dante looking for that limit break on the side B. Didn't quite get it. Good dodge from Deku. And I'll tell you what, though, the damage ratio has just been for pretty much this entire match has just been in favor of Dante. I mean, started out like from 80, it was like 80 to 1. But now we're starting to even up here. Both about to get into triple digits. Ooh, baby.
The up smash will secure the stock and take Dante down a peg. And that was a combination off the remote bomb. It was just laying there, lying in wait for the elimination to come through. Now it's about Deku. He's getting back on the stage, but won't survive for long. The
Mm.
down air secures the kill.
Yep, it's actually the back air. That's one of
Little
the
back air.
deadlier, yeah, one of the deadlier back airs in all of Smash, in my humble opinion. I think it's just absolute lethal, especially when you have triple digit damage ratio. It's almost good night, depending on where you're at the stage. So, but we're working with 68% damage, now 70. It's just climbing at this rate. So this is dangerous territory for Dante here.
That's to be careful. And this is his final stock. If he loses, it'll be the next person up for the Seahawks. That'll be their third member to step into the ring. A good parry there to keep the ground centered for the Link. A dash attack, or the slide in, doesn't find it. There's the dash attack, launches the Link up into the sky, looking for the kill confirm, but needs a few more percentage points before he can get it done.
Exactly. I mean, if he can get at least one more stock out here, even if he loses this matchup, that's going to be really beneficial for Keiser here at this point of the match. But of course, you want the win. Either way, you play to win the game. Oh, speaking of winning the game,
Will be the up smash once again. Taken down to size is the Cloud. Can only claim one stock off of Deku. And we talked about this a little bit last week, King, in the fact that it's very difficult to take. If you can take two, that's a blessing. If you can three stock them, that's like astronomical. Usually one stock is about where it's at more often than not. So, okay, Deku, he's going to be the one to survive. Now, Seahawks, they've got to send somebody up.
yep, and that person is Aaron, aka Rulu, and it looks like we're gonna see a lover spat fight here as he's gonna bring in Zelda. So Link versus Zelda. Man, this is gonna be wonder Zelda's been talking to Ganondorf lately, so we'll see how this match goes.
I mean,
I
I
don't
don't
know
know
if that
about
was okay for stream, my bad.
that's. I'm ready for the live action movie that's gonna come in just a bit. So that should be fun
Yes.
to see. But I like this Zelda pick. She's a more of like a trap character. You think you got her, then the Purple Knight comes out. She forces you into certain awkward situations, and then goes with that forward air, back air. Really can do some damage to you. So I've seen a lot of great Zelda players over the last couple of months. So I'll be curious to see how Rulu decides to manipulate the map in his favor. He's got to take down Silent Deku. This is a strong contender.
Exactly, and I mean, you said it perfectly. Zelda is a trap character indeed, no matter what you throw against her, even if you have projectiles too. And Link is like one of the projectile kings here. You know, you have the neutral B or the neutral B to just reflect those projectiles right back at you. And obviously, you said it too, the down B, the Purple Knight, the Spirit Knight. My goodness, that is a nightmare. I can say that myself. So we have our stage selection. And that is going to be Smashville. So we're gonna see an SD and then a taunt, and then walk. We're just gonna jump right through this.
The gloves will be off, and it'll just be a full on fisticuff match between these two teams. Now, just as a reminder, folks, this is a best of three 4v4 crew battle. So once we go through all the crew once, we reset, reshuffle, and then do it again, and potentially then even a third time, depending on how it all goes out. But right now, it will be the Royals on their second member, Silent Deku, and it will be the Seahawks on their third member on Rulu. So Smashville is the stage selection. Is there an advantage here for either of these combatants?
Well, Seahawks, if you're on the 1 yard line, you know exactly what to do now. Just hand it off. No, I'm just joking. This is Smash, not football. But so we have back to reality. We got Link, we got Zelda. So I would say, if you're Link, you do have those projectiles, but you gotta be kind of particular how you use those projectiles. And I think we saw that a lot in this last matchup. We saw the remote bomb a few times. Only activated it like twice, if I'm remembering that correctly. We haven't seen it much. So choosing it's definitely about choosing your moments here. So if you're using the projectiles, and then with Zelda, I think just do what you do best and just figure out what trap you want to set up and lure your opponent in at the proper timing. So we're gonna see we're gonna see a lot of stage utilization here. That's the advantage that both characters have.
That's what I was gonna be looking for. Is how does she force Link onto one of these like external platforms, then maybe lag out the Purple Knight to extend a combo, and then force him really away from the edge. So this is gonna be, like you said, some stage manipulation. And right now, it's going to be Rulu to start us off.
So far, we're seeing that Purple Spirit Knight already taking 2 hits on Deku here. So this is going to be we're seeing a lot of that. Ooh, great combo with the grab and the down B. And now we're going to see some ledge guarding.
Man, there's that delay of the Purple Knight is what we were talking about, and each charge up of the Knight leads to different areas of attack. But that's a great remote bomb usage here from the Link to get him back on stage.
Yep, that's hard. I gotta tell you what, that's hard to use that remote bomb to get back up. Remote bomb's not going to save you from that one, unfortunately, as we got Deku here working with one stock now, and he's been having a little bit of trouble trying to get in control of this matchup here because it's just been all Aaron here. It's been all Zelda.
Yeah, she's been really controlling this stage because you're essentially fighting against two combatants, the Purple Knight and the Princess. Look, each way, where does he look? Deku, he has no idea. He needs Bakugan here to help it, or Bakugo here to help him. He doesn't have that support. This Purple Knight, it's another kick to the face. The Link eliminated.
Man, gotta get more coaching from All Might right there after that matchup right there. So, of course, yeah, you got the. It was just all Purple Knight for Aaron, really. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of other moves there, but like I mean, you have the up smash for a or the yeah, for your tilt attacks to close it out, but it's really just been that night to just build up that damage. That's all you pretty much needed to do. And also on Smashville, pretty small stage as well. So I think this was a this was kind of hard for Deku to utilize all the items that we were talking about earlier. And it was just once again just a bunch of Spirit Knights taking over here.
Calculated decision from the Seahawks to get themselves level. Not a single stock lost here from Rulu. So they're knotted up 6-6 in terms of the stock, 2 players apiece. Now, you know what Rulu is going to toss out you. Do you have something that will counter the Zelda? Is it through the map? Is it through the fighter? We also talk about this from time to time, King, is it's like there's some strategy into how you layer your fighters. Do you put your best person first? Do you put them last? Do you put them in the middle? Maybe Rulu is the best fighter they've got, and he's number 3.
Exactly. I mean, he certainly looked like it. Only took up 30-40% damage and not a single stock lost. I mean, you got to be careful on this next matchup here. So, if you're, we'll have to see for the other team to see if they have a great, if it's their best player indeed coming in at the very end to save the day here for this round one. But I don't know. After seeing Aaron, I'm a little nervous trying to figure out, I think this is also going to be something where stage is going to really really matter just because of the utilization of the Spirit Knight. So, will you pick a stage that has more platforms or would you pick a stage that's a little bit bigger? I mean, you got to figure it out. So, and we're bringing in Pokemon trainer. It's Cammy for Warner University.
Okay. I kind of like that actually because you can do some dodging by doing the bit down B and switching Pokemon, right? So if the knight comes through, you dodge, then you can counterattack. That allows you to earn some space backs, and so then you can get up into Zelda's grill. She doesn't like that, right? She wants to keep you at distance until she's ready to strike. So I this is an interesting pick here. I would imagine this is going to be tough in terms of what Pokemon you start with. Maybe go for the Squirtle first. Try to use your speed to maneuver around the Knight, and then go for that Charizard at the end. But I don't know, King. What are your thoughts?
I mean, that is definitely one of the main strategies we see from a lot of Pokemon trainer users. We start out with Squirrel, do some hit and run damage, then you switch to Ivysaur, and then you just get a little bit more damage. You don't necessarily have to run from that. Ivysaur also has some good range attacks with the little green boomerang that he throws, and then you have Charizard to just clean it up. I also see a lot of characters that just only main Charizard and then
Yeah.
just go heavyweight battle right there. So this is going to be interesting. So Pokemon trainer, and it's going to be Pokemon Stadium. So I mean, if it really was if this was Pokemon the game, we know who would have the advantage in stage here. But You're going up against Zelda, so we're gonna see how much of an advantage that the Pokemon trainer gets. I just
Yeah,
blanked. My
the
bad.
in-game crowd would definitely be cheering for the Pokemon for sure. And Chad, I want you to cheer for either of these squads, whomever you support. They are out here fighting for everything. Their first win of the season. We're heading now to Pokemon Stadium 2. Let's get into it.
Exactly. A lot riding on this matchup here as we get our fighters six stocks apiece here. We're starting fresh. We don't need it. No SDs. We're just going to jump right into it. Already seeing that Purple Knight early on here.
And that was the attempt to get the Squirtle Cammy to get in. No, the waterfall
No.
delayed the miss
Oh,
input.
no.
Sends Cammy to an early grave, an immediate switch to Charizard. She might be going full force. No, it's a quick swap to the Squirtle, trying to do the rush down once again.
Yep, and right now Cammy's just trying to find an opening past the Spirit Knight here. It's going to be pretty tough to try to get through that. And there's the quick moves from Zelda. You see Zelda's damage percentage, Philly?
Yeah.
It's been one stock already, and not a hit. Okay, I spoke too soon.
Finally, yeah, you caster cursed him, but it was almost looking like a true clean sweep, and it might be the up air secures the second stock with only 7% damage here for Keiser. They are looking feisty on the princess.
Jeez. Yeah, I don't know if Squirrel's going to cut it out. So, I mean, Cammy's going to stick with it, stick with Squirrel here. But I think we need Ivysaur and Charizard, your heavier hitters here, especially Charizard here. It's going to be harder to launch Charizard as well because Squirrel's been just a launching machine here. So, got to be careful and try to find those openings.
Yeah, what I'm impressed with for the Zelda or Rulu is that even when the opponent does get up close, there's a lot of great out of shield and neutral options that he's been able to use to cover all these aggressive movements. Finally, a good juggling opportunity for the Squirtle, and the Knight once again comes to the aid of the Zelda.
Exactly. Yeah, good opportunity for juggling, just not enough and not able to capitalize there towards the end. Oh my goodness, that almost was a three stock right there. Already switching Pokemons here, so now we saw a lot of squirrels, so I'm interested to see what Ivysaur is going to bring here.
Good parry to make sure the ledge was not snapped, but that up B recovery from Zelda, lethal and good at getting back on the stage. I would maybe liken a switch to the Charizard, just something a little bit heavier here for Cam, and maybe something that can provide a finishing move, but utilizing the platforms effectively is the Ivysaur.
Yeah, especially when you're practically just one hit away from getting three stocked here. Charizard might be your best asset right here to try to get some sort of resonance here, trying to get at least one stock before going into the next match, or pull off the three stock miracle, the very rare three stock miracle that we could rarely see. And here he is, the big dragon himself.
Okay, Charizard, now is your moment. This is the do or die to help your team out some. You got to get one stock off of the leader from the Seahawks. A great parry there almost led to elimination. The Purple Knight to create some space, and the Purple Knight to find the kill. It's a clean sweep for the Seahawks.
Ooh, man, Purple Knight slashes the purple dragon at the end. Come on, man. That just deadly right there. So good three stocks. So Warner's going to be, or Kaiser, excuse me, going to feel pretty good going into this next matchup. It's going to be, you have three stocks going in. And if you get down in this next matchup, well, you got one more fighter in you. So Warner's definitely on the ropes here. So whoever their next fighter is gonna be gotta be cracked here. Gonna be pretty cracked.
Yeah, there's a challenging hill to climb. You've got three stocks, your opponent has six, and you're going up against a pretty warmed up and pretty fierce Zelda player. It's going to be challenging. Um, hmm. Is there a specific type of character, like a heavy or a rushdown or a bait and switch? Like, is there a certain type of fighting style that you think would be beneficial now here for Warner?
Well, I mean, I would say your best bet would have to be a bait and switch character because I mean, with what we've seen with Squirtle, trying to get around the Purple Knight, that's gonna be your biggest key here. And I mean, Squirtle with the speed didn't quite factor in try to get around that Purple Knight to try to get in on Zelda. And anytime he did, he was left wide open, and then Zelda just unleashed a bunch of combo attacks. Charizard is going to be and with Charizard and even Ivysaur a little bit, that was the opposite problem. Like just a little bit too slow to try to get around it. I mean, you're heavier, so a little bit harder to launch. So you just gotta we need to see someone just with that unpredictability and try to make Zelda guess on, you know, is this character gonna make it around and try to break the defense that the Purple Knight provides? So this is gonna be key. And I mean, I'll tell you what, Philly, I am, I'm not I'm kind of drawing a blank on which character would be best to try to break that Purple Knight's guard right there.
Yeah, very challenging indeed. For some reason, Yoshi comes to mind for me, just because you can dodge in, dodge out, then throw a shell. Maybe you can roll through the Purple Knight, that kind of thing. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking about the Yoshi here. Um,
Hmm. And I
Potentially,
mean, yeah,
yeah.
I would say because another thing, Yoshi does have a great jump, so getting somebody with a little bit more air to try to get around the knight would be perfect. I also kind of think something that's coming to mind right now is Ness or Lucas, especially Ness, I would say, because they're a little bit more floatier characters. So anytime you can float around and just kind of hover, and also their movesets are unpredictable too. So any character that has, for lack of a better term, the floatiness in the map. So I would say that might be your best bet. So, but you also want to be careful you're not a character that's too light because that knight can deal some serious damage to you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, the Ness and Lucas are pretty light characters. They can get launched pretty easily. Wondering maybe if a character with a counter, maybe like an Ike or something like that, or you just shield through the Purple Knight, just try to take some of that damage and then find your counterattacking opportunity. But we've seen Rulu be very effective when the fight gets up close and personal. So not only do you have to deal with the Purple Knight, once you figure that layer of the puzzle, then you have to figure out actually how to fight Rulu once you get up in their grill, and that can be difficult indeed. So Warner taking some time to think about these stage selections. King, have they come to a conclusion?
So we got Banning, Town, and Kalos, and RJ or Aegis. RJ's coming in. He's got a character that none of us guessed. He's bringing in two characters, and that's Pyra and Mithra. So there's some we'll see about how this one goes, but you're kind of rolling your eyes, shaking your head. I can see a little bit of unpredictability with the Pyra and Mithra character, a good bait and switch that we mentioned before.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I just didn't bring it up because I don't like the character. So
Mm.
it's just very annoying to play against, very unfun. But okay, this makes sense. The neutral options for Mithra, very good. Then you can switch to Pyra. You have range with your sword. You can throw it out, that sort of thing. Chunk through that Purple Knight just to dismantle the defense of the Zelda. So it's a great choice here. I really like it.
Yep, and I wonder if this was a strategy for RJ too on deciding who he wanted to bring in. So maybe he is always a Pyra Mithra stand forever and will just plays only as Pyra Mithra. But who knows? Maybe he has some other characters in his back pocket too that he likes to. Maybe Pyra Mithra is not his main. Maybe it's King K. Rool or something like. I'm just throwing names out, but he's bringing in the Pyro Murthro combo just to counteract this Zelda beast that has literally been pesking Warner here at the very end here. So, and we're looking at this chat here. They are still deciding on stages here. We have Town Band and we have Kalos Band. So I don't know. We could go back to I don't know, something like a battlefield or small battlefield might be beneficial for this next round. Something with platforms, especially, that would definitely benefit for Pyro and Mithra.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, the Purple Knight does cover a good bit of range depending on how far it's charged up. So, got to use those platforms effectively. But I want to go back to what you're talking about in terms of depth. So, yes, you have a squad of four, but each member on the squad might have a hero pool that they're usually pretty adept at. I would say to be a good player, you got to have at least 2 to 3 fighters that you feel like you excel at, because you have to be able to adapt to any situation that your opponent is going to throw at you. So this might be a case here for the side of RJ. Might have that Mithra Pyro, like you said, then might have a heavy, and then might have a floaty character or projectile character or whatever, something else in their back pocket. Now, varying levels of skill, there's only one way to test that, and that's to get into the match. It will be the Mithra Pyra versus the Zelda.
And we're running it back at Pokemon Stadium 2 here, and we're starting out with Mithra here for the Royals, and this is just going to be an absolute. We'll see. So there is the example we saw of trying to get past Zelda here, but look at Zelda's damage percentage compared to Fire and Mithra. Oh my gosh,
Yeah, and that is a
did that
quick
just happen?
100-0 and one stock down there for young RJ. He's got a lot of work to do here as the anchor for the squad. That's the ability that I'm looking for, but the Zelda knows how to handle it.
Absolutely. I mean, this is one of the best Zelda users I've ever seen already. I mean, just the fact that she's just darn near untouchable. Almost got a second stock here. I mean, man, we're just trying to figure out answers here. And it looks like Warner's is running out of them.
And that's another stock gone. They don't have much time left
What is
to solve
happening?
this puzzle known as Zelda. Good thing they'll have a little bit of respite in between rounds. They're going to have to put their heads together to figure out how to take this princess off the throne. But right now, just full throttle, pedal all the
Oh my
way
gosh.
down here is Rulu on the Seahawks.
There you go. And the side B for Pyra, that's the best we've ever seen going up against that Purple Knight, just absolutely breaking the Purple Knight. So that we might need to see more of that going in further in this matchup here, if there's any miracle of surviving that last stock.
No respite here for Warner. The understage up there, the sneakiness, the cleverness of Rulu secures the stock and secures the game point. It's 1-0 here to the Seahawks.
Billy, did you notice in those last three matches for Rulu, not a single stock was taken? Not one stock was taken. So he just went three matches not taking a single stock. I mean, in this season of the Sun Conference of EGF, we might have an MVP already. I mean, just with Rulu, just what a masterful performance there. So I think that's definitely something for the highlight reels for Warner right here. I mean, my goodness, or the Seahawks. I mean, just absolutely amazing. They're playing like how the Seahawks are going to play in the Super Bowl this Sunday. I mean, just what a move from Rulu. So my goodness, this is crazy.
I'd be curious to see what happened to them last week because, like we mentioned at the top of the show, they entered this set 0-1. That means they lost. Was Rulu not available? Were they sick? Did they had class? Like what was going on where this guy was not available, or did their opposition figure out a way to beat him? That is what I am curious to see, and that is what Warner is trying to figure out right now here during the break. And as we mentioned, it will be a reset. So every team gets all 12 stocks back. You can put in 4 new crew members to go at it, and then we run this thing back again. If it's the Seahawks who remain victorious, they will win this 2-0 and secure their first victory of the season.
Exactly. And Dante is coming back in. Excuse me. Never mind. That was some old information I was just reading earlier. So that was not not right. We're still in the we are still in the break here. We're doing pretty much deciding who's striking first or second in this matchup here while each of these each of these teams are getting ready. So Cami is coming back in for Warner University, and so we're gonna see. Cami was the Pokemon trainer, if memory sounds right. So think wanting to get a little bit of revenge on Rulu here, unless we're unless Cami's going with a different character.
I mean, Rulu doesn't have to start, right? This is once again, we're refreshing. So each team can put in a new player, right? Once a player has played, if they still survive, they have to play again. But since we're restarting, right, it's now the second set in this match. Rulu doesn't have to be first. They could be third again, right? Give Warner a speck of hope like they did last time, then snuff that flame out immediately. Or maybe put Rulu there at the top and see how far he can go. How many stocks can he take before they eliminate this Titan? It's going to be very, very challenging for them to do so. But they have a number of players on their squad here, Keiser. They have 6 different members. So maybe Rulu doesn't even play this set. Who knows?
Exactly. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting to see. Maybe Rulu's just taking a break and being like, "Hey, I did my part, y'all. Y'all take it from here." So We'll see how we do it. Like the not quite like the Starship Troopers meme, but he did his part. So now everyone's doing their part here. I mean, we've seen some pretty high level smash, and then we see high level smash, and then we see Rulu. And I mean, this is gonna be in this next round too. We're gonna need to see part of, I mean, an absolute slugfest here for Kaiser and the Royals here. So this is going to be interesting. And looking at this chat, they have their first strike in here. So town has been they have striked town for the stage. So little good, probably a safe pick on that stage selection.
Yeah, didn't find too much success on it. I'm still a big fan of Pokemon Stadium. Like we talked about last week, Final Destination is our favorite stage. That's where you really test your mettle. You go toe to toe, nowhere to run against your opposition. I would love them to go back to it. Is there a combination? We've seen some players from both of these universities. Is there a matchup you like to see, like the Link versus the Captain Falcon or Cloud versus Mithra Pyra, right? We've seen some of that. Anything you're looking forward to?
I mean, really, it's just whoever can just knock off the Zelda if we see it again. That's really just that's my biggest takeaway. But I mean, from the characters we've seen, so we've seen Pokemon Trainer, we've seen Cloud, we've seen Link, we saw Pyra and Mithra. So I mean, there's definitely a lot of different characters you can choose. But I mean, I would love to see, you know, we haven't seen a lot of heavy characters. I mean, you can
Hmm.
count Charizard, but I haven't seen a lot of heavy. So maybe someone like a Bowser, or I mean, I love to joke with this absolute character that I just can't stand, King K. Rule. I mean, maybe we see K. Rule. We might see Donkey Kong. I mean, there's some good heavies out there. So we might see. I also see a lot of Ganondorfs recently too on the Smash tournament scene for for casuals like myself. And hey Philly, it looks like they heard our passion for Final Destination because that's what we're starting in this first matchup.
Oh, we started with Final Destination in set number one, so it makes sense that that's where the fireworks are going to blast off here in set number two. Speaking of heavies, I mean, in our match last week with New College and St. Thomas University, we saw a ton of heavies. We saw King K. Rule, we saw Ridley, we saw a ton of different things moving out. But you're right, no heavy characters necessarily in this series so far. Now, it doesn't mean that they can't be pulled out of the bag of tricks, right? But it's only time will tell. And is it proper for the matchup? Just because you can play a heavy character doesn't mean that you should. So we will see. I believe the characters or the fighters have been selected. Let's take a
Um,
look.
I know we have the characters or the players selected, but character wise, I'm seeing Pokemon Trainer and I'm seeing Me Brawler. Me Brawler. That's actually happening.
I mean, we
I don't
saw
know if
me.
we
Go ahead.
did see it. I mean, yeah, no, that was what I was saying. We did see Me Brawler. And I said you have to be insanely cracked at Smash if you're gonna bring in Me Brawler for a D like a D1 esports matchup here. So let's see what the Seahawks bring with this Me Brawler here.
Cammy. Now, after that warm up match against Rulu, feeling a little bit more comfortable here on Final Destination. A great combination play to start it off. That's the juggling maneuver we know from Squirtle.
Absolutely beautiful juggling maneuver here too. I mean, of course, the speed again, seeing a little bit of hit and run here and there. I mean, yep, this is the actual power from Cammy, and now we're seeing Ivysaur here. The only reason why we didn't see that in the last match was just going up against an absolute beast in Rulu. So here's Cammy's full potential here. This is going to be interesting to see.
And this is Quan on the Me Brawler for the side of Keiser University. So just want to give them a shout out as they almost secure the first stock of this game number two, or set number two, and that doesn't happen. Nice job from Cammy.
Bringing a whole definition of hit the Quan, and instead of hitting the Quan, knocking Quan off stage for not recovering there. So absolute great start from Cammy. Now there's a little trying to figure out an opening, and also as Ivysaur too. So haven't has not brought out the heavy close hitter in Charizard yet. So this is going to be pretty good strategy movements right here as we're seeing some distance and keeping the range.
Oh my goodness
Hey
gracious
now.
me! Another stock, Cammy! Strut your stuff! Well done from them, and I think this is why you stay on the Ivysaur, because you can keep this Mii Brawler at bay with the Razor Leaf and with your Vine Whips, and then if they do get close, you can grab them, toss them in the air, and find some juggles after that. That's a good shot put to guard the ledge, but not good enough. Ivysaur still remains, and now just a Twinkle
Oh
blasting
man.
off again. One stock down for Cammy.
Yeah, but I mean, you said it best. I mean, keeping Ivysaur in to keep that distance, that's pretty key because me brawler, you can customize me brawler however you want. I know EGF has its regulations with how to customize e brawler, if you're gonna bring him in. But I mean, with the Ivysaur, you have that range, and me brawler just is not a ranged fighter to say the least. So making sure to keep that distance is going to be key. But we're seeing Squirtle being up close and personal once again. And I spoke too soon. Here comes the distance from Ivysaur.
Yeah, and as soon as they reach that 80% mark, oh, it's the down air! Just get the two frame. Cammy wins the round.
Oof. Just literally, if Ivysaur was LeBron James, just found found the me brawler and just right there. That's how you do a spike. So absolutely, that was needed from Cammy. So great momentum going into this to start off the second round here. So going up against going up against Warner University. So going up against this next match, I mean, Cammy's got some good momentum going in. Gonna be two stock, but relatively safe two stock here. So it's better be two than one because we saw a lot of one stocks in the last match.
This me brawler, because we saw it last week. We're seeing it again
Hmm.
this week with different schools. And I've heard some rumblings as well. People are like, ah, he could be kind of good, this and that. But I don't know. Have yet to see it because, as you mentioned, still needs to, he's a very close in fighter, needs to be right up against you to get the 1-2 punch. And there's so many characters that excel at creating distance or providing projectiles or have speed over you. I'm just still not seeing the tech, though I know that there are people out there that will swear by it. Maybe one of these days we'll see a Mii Brawler that kind of runs through the bracket here or through the series. But we'll wait for that day. For now, both these teams are going to go back to the drawing board. It will be Cammy who goes up again with two stocks, but it's about the Seahawks to discover their next fighter. They've got a roster full of them.
Yep, and our next fighter is going to be Brutality, bringing in the Captain Falcon. So we got speed, we got some good aerials, and we got some good hit power as well. Not the best hit power, but some really good hit power. Gonna say that much. But going up against the Pokemon trainer, you just gotta watch out for that a little unpredictability because you're going up against three fighters. Just remember, and we saw a lot of the good juggling from Squirtle, and then a little bit of closing from the Ivysaur too. So if you're Brutality, you're gonna keep an eye out on those two Pokemon, especially going into this next matchup.
And I'm curious because Captain Falcon more speed than the Mii Brawler, so maybe can close the distance on this Ivysaur. And if they pick a stage with some platforms, he can jump across the platforms, really cause Ivysaur to kind of be looking around. And then if you go up against the Charizard, he can get juggled pretty easily. There's some good combinations that Captain Falcon can lay into him. I feel like the Squirtle matchup maybe not the best for the Squirtle. I feel like Captain Falcon probably wins that more often than not. So this could be a challenging fight, a pretty uphill battle for the Pokemon trainer.
Yeah, and I mean, like, of course, with Captain Falcon has a little bit more speed for Squirtle, so I can definitely see why that's not going to be a favorable matchup against Captain Falcon. But another thing to keep in mind is just the hitboxes that Squirtle has. Low to the ground.
Yeah.
It's not quite low center of gravity, but just very low to the ground. So you got to really go for like the Falcon kicks or even the side Bs and just anything like that. So I mean, you gotta definitely want to keep an eye out if you don't want to sleep down, you don't want to sleep on Squirtle there. So we have our stage selection, and it is once again Final Destination. So we're not going to see platforms again. So this is going to be an even stage for both of these characters because they both benefit the platforms very well.
Yeah. I think maybe this benefits the Pokemon trainer just a little bit more because now there's no trickery really for the Captain Falcon. It's kind of a one-way street for him to just find his angle of attack, whereas you can mix and match with the three fighters of the Pokemon trainer. So I'll be looking to see the approach in the neutral for the Captain Falcon. What are they going to do to either force out certain moves, maybe cause a short hop or whatever it is for the Pokemon trainer, and then find the counter attack, or if they play passively. I think aggression is gonna be the key here for the Seahawks.
I agree too. I think aggression is going to be just one thing you really want, if especially on the 1 yard line, like they're going to play here. So going ahead, we're already up on their way in the match, and we're seeing a lot of ledge guarding early on here.
Yeah, quick advantage for the Seahawks. I mean, Seahawks, they thrive in water, so a little Squirtle is exactly the kind of prey they are looking for. Quick speed and nice parry maneuvers for the side of brutality, putting his full force into this match.
Yep, and we're kind of you kind of called it earlier before this match, Billy. I mean, we're seeing the advantage go to Captain Falcon here against Squirtle. So now we have that early switch to Ivysaur here, and oh,
Oh, they're taking them to school. It's a lesson in geometry. The Seahawks with the up B combination to secure the stock. Cammy once again on the back foot here, switches to the Squirtle.
absolutely, that was just a nasty up B right on the stage there too, and that's kind of the thing with the stage ricochet. Final Destination has a pretty good stage ricochet when you're going on the ledge here and trying to take the fight there. So, especially with the rebound, and we're are we gonna see it again? Oh my goodness, that was dangerous. That was dangerous. My heart dropped a little bit.
That's a good tech, though. That's what you can do with the Pokemon Trainer to get that extra bit of survivability. But I love this switch into the Charizard. This is the danger zone now for the Captain Falcon at 100%. A quick 1-2 punch from the Dragon will take him down, but he has to connect first, and that's a difficult thing to do.
Oh my goodness, that was a great opening that Kami did not take advantage of. Just the upbeat from Captain Falcon, having that timing there. So there it is again. There you go.
All right, and that will be a down smash, I believe, to secure it, or forward smash, rather. There's the up B they're looking for, but this is a heavy. Won't get launched that easily.
Absolutely not. Pretty close there, and oh no, there's a little... Oh, I was about to say there's going to be an opening, and there certainly was for the Royals on that last matchup right there. So Captain Falcon gets the dub. We really saw some brutality there at the end. So now the momentum shifts back to Keiser. So as we see, it's going to be whoever they bring in next. They got to match some speed and some aerial moves against Captain Falcon.
And we got the job done. Won the first match, took a stock off the second fighter. You set yourself up for Warner as their second fighter, moves into the danger zone, so to speak. They have the advantage here still, Warner. And I think if you're Cammy, you say, all right, job well done for you, friend. You've earned a little bit of respite. Still a long way to go here in this set 2 of this best of 3 4v4 crew battle. That's a mouthful, King. That's a lot to say.
Man, goodness.
Yeah. But okay,
Yeah, need to get some water here on our end.
You're going up against the Captain Falcon, like you mentioned. What is knowing the roster now that Warner has? Who do you put in?
Well, they're bringing back Tried as Little Mac, and we saw that matchup earlier, and Little Mac got the best out of that. So a lot of good hit power from Little Mac, but again, just got to be careful with that stage. So got to be careful not to get too far from the ledge, and make sure Captain Falcon doesn't use those aerials on you, because those aerials are going to be the death of Lil Mac, especially picking a stage with platforms too. So we'll see with these stage bans, but this is going to be they're running it back with these two characters. This was a pretty fun matchup watching early on in this series.
And if I know Smash players, they're always itching to get some revenge, always being like, all right, you got me that time, but now I know something about you. Let me get you again and see how I fare, right? There's some of that mental game in terms of conditioning, right? Oh, I know they tend to always roll in when they get up, or they always tend to roll away when I approach, or whatever it might be. Once you find out those tendencies from your opponent, you know how to capitalize on them. And so I think that Tried had a little time to review some film and get back into the ring, and they're excited for this tussle. And I know I am. It's always good to see a grudge match.
Exactly, and I mean, the both of these characters know how to punch each other. I mean, just bring it into the octagon. I mean, if we had that boxing ring as a stage, that would be the stage I'd just pick just for the vibes by itself. I mean, especially Lil Mac loves to thrive in that boxing ring setup. But right now for stage selection, we've banned Final Destination. Boo. And we also banned Battlefield. So we have one prominent platform stage in Battlefield banned. So it's going to be interesting to see which stage Kaiser picks, or excuse me, Warner picks at the end. At the end,
I wonder if it will be Pokemon Stadium 2 potentially or Town and Center. Though I don't know if I
it
necessarily
is small Battlefield actually.
small
So,
battlefield. Okay, I'm just gonna
all
take my
right,
headset off now and
see you, dude.
yeah.
Have a good day. But
But
nah,
I no, I like small battlefield. I think that's fine, but it might favor the Captain Falcon a little bit more.
yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, there's again with the small recovery that Lil Beck has. I mean, it's only it only gets worse because like you get launched, you're gonna get launched a little bit further. So you got to be careful going into this matchup here if you're Lil Mac. But on only two platforms as well. So, and if you kind of they're kind of low platforms too compared to the other stages, or I'm just tripping and just saying that it's something else. But either way, this is gonna be a grudge match. Let's see what we got.
Right now, it's like you said, a trading of blows in the middle of the stage. But I like the way that Brutality started this off, getting the Mac onto the platform, just missed the follow-up combination there. That is what Brutality is going to be looking to do time and time again. But it's a great way to keep the little Mac off the stage, and he,
Oh.
he just baited him. Stock down.
Yep, that's exactly why we don't see a lot of little back players in this matchup here. It's that recovery. If it's one of the worst, if not the worst recovery at all, and all you got to do is just bait him and then just throw him off the stage, really, and then all of a sudden it's night night Lil Mac.
Yeah, no aerial contention. So even if you do just feint jumping off the edge, they have to figure out, oh, will I get hit and then get further off, or do I make a maneuver to try to dodge it? And that time, it's a great bait, and there's the meteor smash, sends Mac to an early grave.
A little coup de grace spike at the end there, and now we're down to one stock to two. This is going to be pretty good for Brutality here, bringing in all the brutality in the world in this matchup.
Okay, there's that 1-2 punch we need, and now we're even Stevens here. Which school will win? Will it be Warner? Will it be Keiser University? Right now, my money's on Brutality. It will be a knee to the
Oh
face to
no!
send Little Mac off, and there's no chance in hell he will recover. That is a 3-stock sweep for the Captain Falcon.
Yeah, absolutely no way you were going to recover from that. So, and I think Captain Falcon just did exactly what you needed to do. Just get Little Mac off that stage, and you are just going to be sitting pretty going into this next matchup here. So, absolutely well done for Brutality, taking two dubs in a row now in this second round in this series. So, this is going to be interesting to see who's going to come in this next matchup here. Because I mean, because I think Tried beat him in the last matchup, so now we're back to even Stevens in this next one.
So this is where Warner University, they have to think about this because Brutality only has one stock. So you have to pick somebody that you know you can secure the stock without losing too much. If you lose one stock, okay, Brutality, pretty good player, right? If you lose no stocks, that's even better. So you have to not only think about this matchup, but the next matchup in terms of how this fighter that Warner sends in will go up against.
Yep, and it looks like Warner's bringing back Deku. He's gonna bring in Link. So this could be a pretty good matchup here because we know the range attacks that Link brings to the match, and you know you can totally control the stage just to your advantage. So Deku's gonna have that's what Deku's gonna just have to do is just really place a few traps with his range weapons, use the remote bomb to his bidding and then you can lock up Captain Falcon pretty well in this next matchup here. So again, it all just comes down to distance and your range attacks to go up against someone who's up close and personal like Falcon.
You got to use the boomerang to knock him back, the arrow to force him to jump, and then find your aerial. You have a little bit more reach because you have a sword, right? That is important to trade some of those hits. But Captain Falcon does have the speed, so if there are some platforms that he can utilize, he can hop, skip, and jump over them, maintain his speed, and then get up close. So it's really for me going to come down to the map or the stage rather that is selected and which one or which fighter it'll favor more.
Exactly. And speaking of which, we have our first two bands, and that's going to be Town, and that's also going to be Kalos. We haven't seen Kalos tonight yet, so interesting that these two teams are electing to just avoid that. But again, like you said, something like with platforms, I might expect to see something like PS2 or even Smashville, one of those two schools here. So this is going to be an interesting matchup nonetheless.
I like PS2 because the stage is longer, so that way you have some more room for your boomerang and your arrow to create that space for you. And then there's those platforms as well that are spaced out. So even if he does get on a platform, you can still maintain your distance. Whereas small battlefield we just saw, even if you're on the platform, you can still get bounced around, you can still get hit. So PS2 might be a good choice for this Link player, and Silent Deku's got to bring Warner back into this.
Exactly, and it's actually going to be a stage with no platforms and a stage that you and I love so much. We're running it back to Final Destination once again, so we're going to see two SDs here, and then we're just going to walk right back into this matchup. There's one fly like a Seahawk, and Seahawks don't fly like that. But now it's going to be a 3-1 stock here, so Captain Falcon's going to have his work cut off here, but he's won two in a row. I expect him to launch those combos like he just did before and try to get a coup de grace spike already.
Oof, that would have been disastrous for Deku. But there's no way he can create the distance right now. It's this speed, this rush down mechanic of the Captain Falcon that is really winning out the day. And quick 75 damage on the board for Link.
Absolutely. This is 75 to 5 especially. I mean, this is an absolute masterclass we're seeing from Brutality. I mean, I can hear the, I don't know if you're a WWE fan, but I hear the Rhea Ripley theme song, "This is my brutality!" This is exactly what we're getting in this matchup right here.
I'd be curious if Brutality, if that's what's playing in their headphones while they are fighting. Brutality really just looking for one stock here. If they take one stock and then lose, I think that's fine, especially off of Deku. You know you have some matchups on your roster that go well into this Link character, but he's got to get that job done first, and that's a tall order to fill.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Deku has done a great job
Nice.
getting back into the matchup here, and he's gonna keep his 3 stocks.
That is a
Wow.
massive elimination. Yeah, it was looking close. It was looking dire for him, but a quick combination of hurricane slashes sends the Captain Falcon into the blast zone. All right. I think we're
Man,
knotted up now, right? Two fighters to two.
I think so. And I mean, like I said before, that if I'm Deku and I'm playing as Link, I want to utilize the stage to my advantage. Well, Captain Falcon did a great job on not bringing in, you know, not letting him utilize that stage. So, but getting up close and personal and then using the counters, especially getting back on the ledge, especially that last stock right there. I mean, shout out to Deku right there. What an absolute matchup right there. Now he's got to slay the princess once again because Rulu
Oh,
is back in, and he's bringing back Zelda as well. So absolute. Like, can Deku get his revenge? Did he get that training from All Might, like I suggested before? We're about to find out in this next matchup.
we talked a little bit about how Smash players want some of those revenge matches, grudge matches. They want to play folks they've already played because they've learned something. I don't know how much Deku learned in that previous contest. It was a little bit of a one-sided affair, and I don't always like to say that, but it was. And that maybe there is some things to glean, right? Maybe you have a strategy now of how to get around the Purple Knight, but it's an arduous sort of job for this Link to work through that bodyguard of the princess.
Exactly, yeah, and it's just a legendary bodyguard because basically what Rulu did is not make it Zelda versus Link. It was a 2v1 in that matchup, Zelda and the Knight versus Link. So again, I mean, we wanna see more traps, but I mean, Rulu just did an excellent job on making those traps, unutilizable for Link. So this is gonna be this matchup here, and I mean, unfortunately, I can't remember the stage they duked it out on. I think it was PS2 or no, I think it was Smashville. Maybe it was PS2. It was one of those 2. But
Something like that.
either either way, we wanna see this next matchup here going up against these 2. I apologize, my cat Silver has his opinions on these 2 matchups here.
Hey man,
You over
everybody
here,
loves a
buddy?
cat
It's all
on
good.
stream, and I think right
It's
now
all
we have a little
good.
bit of downtime. Definitely always good to have an extra fan pop on
Mhm.
through. So always good to
Absolutely.
see.
He loves Smash as well. Unfortunately, he just gets a little bit too in the way where, like, if you say something wrong, he'll rage quit and just smash everything. No pun intended. And I just don't want him quite to smash my computer yet after giving my hot takes on uh on Smash Bros. So we're bringing it back to small battlefield, and as the comment said from the Zelda bar, here's to a good fight.
Okay. And no SDs to start, as this is a clean slate for both of these fighters. A good start here for Deku. There's some patient play. That's what I'm looking for. How does he utilize the space to his advantage, dodge that purple knight? But right now, hard to get by is this Knight of the Realm.
Yep, and we're seeing a lot more close action from Deku here, and the damage percentage already we're seeing a little bit of improvement, but it's just not enough with going up against Rulu. But we're seeing a little bit more improvement, so if Deku can keep this up and really work with this close range battle that he's strategizing with, this is going to be a good matchup, and probably we might see Rulu's first stock be taken.
That was a rare misstep from Rulu. The Fairy Fire doesn't connect, but that surely would have been an elimination. A little bit passive we're seeing from the Princess. I feel like some tempered aggression would be utilized. A good counterattack. Will the Link be saved?
Oh,
It'll be a double explosion. The first stock gone awry.
I don't know who if that will go. That's gonna go down as a point for a stock taken from Zelda and not an SD. But oh my
Yeah.
goodness, what an absolute just a double insult to injury. Another thing that I keep forgetting that Zelda has, and this is just a little note on my end, her up B also does damage. I keep forgetting that it does that, and I
Oh
mean
yeah.
that's a great tool to use.
It's a great kill confirm option at high percent, and it's also good to clear the ledge. A lot of times people are scared.
Oh
Oh,
no.
the knight tees him up, and the fireball takes him down. The Link to his final life.
Yep, and got to be a little cautious here now as Link. I mean, you had a good opening with that ledge there, but that also was a pretty good bait attack right there. And oh no, gosh. I don't
Very
know,
close.
Philly. I am on the edge of my seat right now, just watching the conclusion. Will we see the first stock taken or a 3 stock once again?
I mean, I feel like if you can take a stock off of Rulu, that is a job well done. You've earned your dinner for the night, and there it goes. The
There we
forward air
go.
slash will get the job done.
Absolutely. The clean stock streak has finally ended for Rulu. Now, he's okay because he still has the stock advantage and I was going to say a little fresh damage set right there, but 38, I mean, still relatively fresh compared to what Deku is dealing with right now.
And he's dealing with a lot knights and fireballs and crystals and everything under the sun. The up throw,
Oh,
though, is the cherry on top. And it will be Rulu to win the round.
I gotta say, there's not a more, in my humble opinion, going out with a throw. There's not a worse way to go out than a throw. So, but well done switching up the strategy for Deku on Rulu. Too bad it just wasn't enough to clean up the more stocks and get the dub. So we're going back as just another dub for Rulu and the continued dominance in this reign here.
But you got one stock, and that's better than you did last
You did.
time. So yeah, he maybe did Deku learn something in between the sets. Then there's a couple other folks on the Warner roster. There's Penguin and there's Ice Boy who have yet to make an appearance. Maybe they're not here today. You know that's why you have a number of folks on the roster. But that could be the X factor, or at least a little wrench in the plan to make Rulu think twice. But it might just be young RJ who has to be the final anchor for the team.
Yeah, and I mean RJ does have that tall task ahead of him going up against Rulu once again. I mean, you said it best, but I mean we'll also see stage selections too to go up against Rulu as best. But I mean, here's the thing: we saw multiple stages now, and it doesn't seem like Rulu has a weakness. So RJ is coming back, and will he bring back his legendary character of that's a great question. I'm blanked out.
Mithra
I
Pyra.
totally forgot.
Pyra
My
Mithra.
God, Pyra and Mithra, your favorite character. I wanted you to say
Oh,
it. It's your.
yeah,
I just wanted you
yeah,
to say it.
yeah.
Hmm.
So I don't know about you, but I always say Mithra Pyra a lot. You've been saying Pyra Mithra. I don't. I like to say Mithra at first because I feel like that's the character you should start with. So you say Mithra Pyra. I don't know. Just sounds better to me.
Yeah, I think you're right there because I mean that's also what we see a lot in common is people starting out with Mithra. So I always say Pyra and Mithra just because that's how Nintendo
Yeah.
announced the entry, and that's just how I was just trained. Some of the best trailers in all of video games is just the Smash characters. So I mean, just seeing all that, but again, but and who knows? Maybe RJ switches up the strategy. Maybe starts out with Pyra because we saw just like the little glimmer of hope in that last match where Pyra side B on the onto the Purple Knight and broke the Purple Knight's defense. So that might be something to look out for. But again, Mithra is a good common character to try to navigate the stage and try to close some gaps against Zelda.
For sure. So yeah, I mean, starting with the Pyro, not a bad choice. It's unconventional, right? She's usually the finisher after Mithra has done a bulk of the damage. But in some matchups, you have to send Mithra out first, especially if you have this Purple Knight to work through, which has been this perplexing move that Warner just cannot seem to work around here so far in this set. Should young RJ fall, that will put the Royals to 0-2 over the season, and the Seahawks will net themselves their first victory and land at 1-1. So will it be Rulu who'll be the savior for Keiser University? So it's time to find out. But we got to get through those bands and picks first of the stages. King, where we at?
Let's take a look here. So I know we have Kalos Band once again, and we also have Town and City Band as well. So those have been the stages that have been just absolutely struck in this matchup here. So we're not going to see those two as well, but we might run it back to Final Destination again. I mean, that's just no, that's just our dream right there. We love us some Final Destination. Play the Brawl theme song with it. Play the Brawl theme song, but I mean, it looks like we're still picking stages, and our stage has been selected. It's going to be our classic PS2. So great atmosphere, good platforming. We'll see if we can get some good spacing here, especially with Mithra here. So I mean, because RJ needs, especially going up against Rulu.
Any advantage that you can have, you will take. That's for sure. Let's see if the Zelda can get the job done or if RJ can force a next fighter from Kaiser University. My money might be on the Seahawks to swoop to a victory here, but we'll have to go through the self-destruct phase first.
There we go. And I saw that RJ started out with Pirate, but then quickly switched to Mithra, and I was like, oh, we're gonna see a switch, but nope. There we go. And little first hit right there from RJ, which is pretty good. But now we're going back and forth. So already a different RJ we're seeing here with some more damage. And I think really just the entire Warner team switching up their strategy going up against Rulu. They must have really talked about how they're really going to go up oof, against Rulu, which that was not needed.
But how do you go up against the Purple Knight as well? Like you said, it's a double package for this character. The Knight just creates so much space, and now
Oh
you're on
no.
the Pyra. Can you get back to the edge?
Oh no!
Oh! The
Oh
shots
gosh.
just go into the darkness. Man, it's two quick stocks gone from Warner University.
Yeah, and I think that was I said maybe switching up to Pyra first would have been great, but then seeing the that was the recovery aspect there was not on the side of Pyra, but a great, oh my goodness, that was disappointing. That did not take a stock right there, but we still have one stock and a good amount of damage percentage for Warner University to see if they can somehow close this gap.
Oh man, that down tilt to forward air combination and the Purple Knight to guard the edge. This guy is insane with it. This Purple Knight still creates so much space for this Zelda. There goes from the heavens, but it won't be enough to parry into the smash, and it will be Kaiser University to take this set 2-0.
Just an absolute dominance from Rulu and Kaiser and the Seahawks. I mean, that was just timing. It all just came down to timing at the very end, just with the shield and waiting for that recovery to end and then or the cool off to take off. And then you just hit the final blows right there at the very end. So we got a there we got a goose egg off of Kaiser's board now. So now they're 1-1 in this season. Plenty of smash left throughout the Sun Conference season here. So we'll see. This is going to be interesting to see. And I mean, I want to see more of Rulu heading into the season because this is going to be going on throughout this entire season. This is going to be a team you want to look out for, especially seeing a Zelda like how we saw Rulu operate Zelda. I mean, I don't see how any other team can beat that.
Highlight player for sure. Brutality also comes to mind. Very skilled on the Captain Falcon, made a name for themselves in this set to boot. Warner, they're going to have some things to work through, right? Maybe in their next training session is just always against Zelda. How do we work through some of our pacing tools and our spacing kind of characters? So that's going to be what they want to do. I think we're going to have an interview here, friend. I got to see who's it with.
Yeah, I
Um,
think looks like they're getting it set up. So maybe once that happens, we can just quickly take a break so we can get everything ready and set up.
So then, with that, we're going to head to a short break and we'll see you in just a few. Welcome back, Sun Conference fans. It's HD Philly B. It's King of Hills. And we have a very special guest. It's Rulu, aka Aaron, the Zelda extraordinaire for the side of Keiser University. And we've got a couple of questions for him. Friend, my first is this is your first victory of the season. How does it feel?
First victory feels amazing. Like we're off to a great start. So it feels great. Feels amazing.
So glad to
Awesome.
hear
And
it.
I mean, here's the thing. Man, so I always thought that going against Zelda is annoying, but you bring up an absolute masterclass playing as Zelda. I guess just
Thank you.
what made you decide what drew you to play as Zelda and just over time, how did you just get absolutely cracked as Zelda? Because oh my goodness, that's insane how
Thank
you're
you.
good
Thank
at
you.
that.
What got me to actually playing Zelda is I used to main Peach, but there was like 5,000 Peach mains at my local, and I had Zelda as my secondary, and there was a certain patch where they buffed Zelda but nerfed Peach, and I was like, you know what? Might as well just switch to Zelda. No one really knows her that much, so that's actually what got me to maining Zelda.
There you go. I mean, yeah, I mean, Peach, not even she gets kidnapped all the time. Zelda at least rules her kingdom well, right? So,
Hmm.
but yeah, so next question, I guess just kind of like, got your first win, good, it was a great team effort right there. I guess just like, what do you guys do with at Kaiser just like in terms of like, strategizing and practice wise, not giving up too much, don't want to give up your game plans and stuff like that, but just kind of like talk about just how do you guys gel as a team and just, what makes you guys better and how do you guys make yourself better with each other?
Well, some things that we like to do to help make each other better. We obviously communicate a lot about when we can practice with each other and how to practice with each other. We do VOD review, and I like to take my teammates to like tournaments or tell them about tournaments so we can also get like in-person practice, like versus like random actual people rather than just playing strictly online. That's what we like to do.
Awesome. All right. And is there anything throughout this entire season you're looking forward to the most before, we got like what, 5 weeks left before playoffs and stuff like that? Anything you're looking forward to heading on out?
Something I'm looking forward to, the team continuing with consistency and practicing, being consistent and overall just all of us improving and just being a great team together. That's what I'm looking forward to. A great year.
Awesome. Love to hear it. That's all I had. Philly, do you got anything else?
My final thing is for you, Rulu, is just while you're on stream, who do you want to shout out? This is your time. You're in the spotlight.
Um, I would like to shout out three people. Shout out my mom, my dad. I love you guys. Super supportive. Always been there for me. Love them so much. And shout out to my bestie Dan. He lives in New York now. If it wasn't for him, I actually would have never came to the school. I would have never been talking to anyone here. So shout out to Dan. His tag is Tempest. Love you, Dan. Hope you're doing amazing in New York. And those are the three people I like to shout out to.
All right, excellent. Well, Rulu, you've definitely put your name on the map here for the Sun Conference, and I'm sure we'll be seeing you in the interview booth many times throughout the rest of
Mhm.
the season. So thank you much
Oh,
for
yeah.
joining us, and we'll see you next time. For you all at the EGF and the Suns Conference, it's been a pleasure. From HD Philly B, King of Hills, and Cherry J, we'll see you next time.